Do you want to learn how to get healthy, perform at your best, and create body composition changes that last? In this podcast, we're going to talk about all things fitness, nutrition, health, and mindset. You're going to learn how to create real results, and most importantly, how to maintain those results in the long run. I'm Johan.
I'm Kristine
and you're listening to Talking Nutrition. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Talking Nutrition, episode 18 today. Happy holidays, first of all. We can say that already, right?
Yeah. My Christmas tree's up. I'm listening to Christmas music. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. I think it's if you see the city center here, like it's Christmas already. Like that's why I tagged you in that photo. Like, yo, say you. You know? It helps though. It's nice. I like it. It's cozy, you know?
It's a cozy season.
Yeah, it's good. I really like it. It does help with the darkness too. It's like dark by 2 p.m. now already. That's when the sun sets. So hey, fun.
Yeah.
No, it helps. It actually keeps the city a little brighter, you know?
Totally.
How was your year, just in general? Like, because I think this is a good time to reflect, and also for the listener. So first of all, like, how do you feel about your year? Like, are you stoked? Like,
yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff happened this year. KA training was a big one for me. KA nutrition is very steady. At this point, like my clients are with me for like year or more. So I feel really good about that. In the nutrition space, client retention, like we ultimately want clients to be able to go on their own, but also having clients understand that it does take, a year or more to really get themselves to where they, want to be in most cases. So, having my clients with me that long and being able to work through everything with them is great. So it does. I know I have a pretty big wait list. I've thought about bringing on other coaches. I keep going back and forth with it, if I want to do that. I haven't made the decision. I have people asking me like, bring on another coach, because I have so many people on the wait list, but I don't know. We'll see. But KA training was, like I said, it was a big one for me. And then in terms of KA training, I'm just going to go into the updates.
Yeah, you're good. That's fine.
So it's been a year since I started it, and I am starting with a new company for the app. Just for me, it made more sense, and I just like this platform a lot better. So we switched over at the beginning of this week, started to switch over, and it's not completely done, like customized fully yet, but I didn't really care. Like I just wanted to get everyone over there. But because of that, I am doing a special right now, and I'm giving away a free month. So we'll leave the link to the app in the notes. It's also in my Instagram bio, but all you do is you sign up, put all your info in, and you use the code FREE, and it will ask for your credit card and stuff, but you can cancel anytime. If you want to cancel before that month or whatever, or at that month point, that's fine. I'm aware that my training isn't going to be for everyone, but it's a great program. People, the people in it are loving it. There is an at-home portion to it too for people who have minimal equipment, and I think that's it. So yeah, you can use free for the free month and see how you like it. Like I said earlier, giving the gift of fitness.
Giving the gift of fitness.
Yeah.
The only gift you'll ever need.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that's great. I think that's a great gift. I think people need a training program, honestly. Like, I don't do any with my clients, or I don't provide them myself, I should say, because I do refer them out and get, have them sign up for apps and stuff, programs. But like, it's so important. It's so important, because half of the time, what we see is that people just kind of just do random shit. And that's exactly why a lot of people work out but don't look like it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're doing random stuff. And honestly, like I would rather someone do random stuff than not work out at all. Right.
Oh,
Like,
still, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but as you progress with training, it is good to be on some sort of structured program that has like progressive overload. Um, and also it helps with accountability too, right? So yeah.
And it's just good to have like an app where you can actually log your stuff, you know exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
There's examples of the movement, you know, tutorials and shit. So I think that's great. I think that's really valuable. So check that out, guys. And then as for my coaching, honestly, this year has been really fucking cool. I just feel like, do you feel like that where you look back to like say last year or something, and you're like, well, I was a completely different coach back then, you know?
Oh, I've been thinking about that recently. I'm like, my growth as a coach in the last year is massive. Like
Same.
my own mindset has changed a lot. I've changed my
Yeah.
views on a lot of things. Uh and I mean, it's just, yeah, I feel like there's just been so much growth.
Yeah. That's really one thing I really love about this too, because you and me both, like we're doing the same course now together, but like we also grow with our clients, you know, and
Oh
we
yeah.
also become better and we learn stuff. And it's such a cool thing because the more we learn, the better we can help people, the better we understand people, the better we can show up for them, guide them.
Yeah.
And for me too, if I look back at last year, I'm like, that's night and day. Like it's such a big
Same.
difference.
I mean, even looking back to like when I started, I'm like, oh gosh, but it's like
But realistically,
that's what happens.
yeah, but I think that's how it should be. Like if you, and this is
Yes.
maybe a good one because there are also coaches who do like one cert and then like that's it. You see that a lot in
Mhm.
CrossFit. It's like, I get the level one and boom, that's it. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
now a
yeah.
coach. Like, no, you're not.
No.
Hey, I'm guilty of this too, by the way, you know, but like that's only your starting point. And I think as a coach, like if you don't look back a year and think, oh, I kind of feel like a fucking idiot, you know, or I feel like back then I was an idiot, I should say.
You should feel like that.
You should feel like that, yeah,
100%. If you don't, that's a
because
problem.
that's how you know you grow, you know. If you're
100%.
like, I should have
Like I
done,
look, I look back at like posts I made like a
oh,
long time
100%,
ago. I'm like,
yeah,
oh gosh, but I keep them up because that's
me
part
too,
of it.
yeah, same exact thing, like because I still have to go back, you know, on Instagram to see kind of like which post did well and which topics I can maybe
Yeah.
bring up and stuff, and then I'm like, okay, cool, it's a cool topic, but this post sucks. You know?
Yeah.
And it's the same with the newsletters and especially video stuff. Like, I'm like, wow, that's a different person, you know?
Yeah. I
So
almost feel like sometimes I could like, I would want old clients like the very beginning to come back because they would just be shook.
100%. Yeah,
Like,
100%.
holy crap.
Definitely.
But
And kind of like, you know, like, yeah, come back and see how it is now, you know?
and I've always wanted to say this because I think it's really important.
Sure.
So someone like me or you who have been this for a while, and then there's people like Cody, right? And they have clients who come from another coach. Okay. And the client will tell us about their um, time with that coach, the process with the coach. And sometimes it is completely like, holy crap, like what was going on over there? But we don't know if that coach was like just starting out or something like that. Like, where are they in their journey? If they're many years in their journey and they're coming to us with this, then that's different compared to if it was a coach like just starting out and they're just, lack knowledge, they lack experience, and they're still trying to do the best they can. Right. So I,
100%.
I always like encourage coaches to be careful with that when a client is coming to them from another coach and it doesn't look good and they're saying all these things. Just keep in the back of your mind that it could be their experience level just isn't there yet. And they're really just trying to
Yeah,
do the best they can.
for sure. And that's also where you can do your own research, look into the person you're going to invest in, I mean, which of course also yourself, but like the coach, I mean, in this case, like check their stuff out, what are they putting out there? Like, how are they helping you already? Do they have a podcast, etc.? Of course, we're biased, but like look into their stuff, and then decide maybe, because I do think, and I wanted to bring this up in a sec, like I do think these investments are not to be rushed, That's why I decided, and I'll actually just get into that. I decided not to do a Black Friday thing or any discounts publicly like this year, because first of all, I don't want that to be the reason for you to sign up. I want you, like, if you sign up for coaching with me, I want you to be really fucking serious about this, and I don't think that should be at the click of a button, like, oh yeah, sign me up because I got a discount,
Yeah, no.
So I still wanted to do something because I'm feeling, honestly, this year, like personally, but like also from a coaching perspective of my clients, like I'm feeling so fucking grateful just for that growth and getting the opportunity to help people, and like this the shit I'm passionate about, and that's
Right.
what makes me so excited about it. And I know you feel the exact same. Like I still wanted to do something, so I figured, okay, let me do this, right? So from now till the rest of the month, you can get 1 or 2 free months of coaching with me when you sign up. So how much you get is going to depend on basically how long you commit to your goals, to yourself, how much you invest in yourself, basically. But here's the catch. So this is only open for newsletter subscribers. I'll link that down below. But that's another thing. Like, I didn't want to just make this like a public thing. If some people want to sign up, great, cool, go for it. Sign up to the newsletter. I'll send you the info. So by the time that this launches, it'll be Monday. So basically, next email will go out on Wednesday and then Friday, and you can get all the details there. Sorry.
So wait,
again,
can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
So is it they get 1 to 2 free months of coaching if they commit to coaching after that, like 3 months or however long?
No, it's on the back end. So when they sign up, they get a free month at the back end.
Got it.
Or 2.
I
right?
love that.
Yeah, I think
because they're still
that,
committing.
For sure, and that's the thing. Like, that's exactly why I'm doing it this way. And I might actually, so if this launches, oh no, okay, so there will still be time. Sorry, but like, that's the thing. Like, I don't want this to be like a rushed thing where it's like, oh, sign me up, I'll get it for free.
Yep.
You will not get that free month first. You will not get the 2 free months first, right?
Got it.
You will.
I think that's
once you've
awesome.
committed.
Yeah.
And that's just my gift to you, right? For taking action and for investing in yourself.
Love it.
So that's the way I want to go about this. And that's the only limited like offer we do this year. I have not done any and will not after this for the rest of this year. Minimum commitment will go up as of January 1st, as well as the rates. So basically, if you've been thinking about this, now is really a good time to sign up. And if not, that's cool too. Listen to the podcast, check out all of our stuff, and just stick around, like enjoy like the free resources that we put out anyway. So we'll link that down below, and then let's actually get into the episode. So today we're going to talk about the holidays, right? Getting through the holidays, making sure that we go in with a plan, with the right expectations, so that we can kind of keep up most of the healthy habits, like without being very diligent. And Kristine's going to talk about that and like what consistency really is going to mean this time of the year, because it might be different, right? We'll get into some tactics that you can that you can use to stay on track, setting your non-negotiables, and then also what you'll do after the holidays, right? Like, how do you get back on track? So yeah, let's get into that. Kristine, so first of all, how do we go into the holidays with the right expectations, and what can we expect like going into that?
All right. I think the first thing I want to say is that uh, consistency probably like what you're consistent with right now when there's not a bunch of stuff going on probably isn't going to be what consistency looks like for you during the holidays, right? Because like during the holidays there is so much going on, whether it's uh, events, there's always like parties going on, then there's the actual uh, like meals, then people are taking time off work, so their schedule may look different. There's just a lot typically going on, and like maybe you can keep the same consistency and that's great, but like a lot of people have a hard time with this. So I think setting the expectation that it's not going to look the same is important, right? Because if you try to make it look the same and it's not realistic, then you end up in falling into this trap of like letting yourself down or like feeling guilty or like feeling shameful because you're not doing these things, when in reality it's just not realistic for what is going on, right? So I think that's just super important to start off with. And, consistency, like I said, might look different um, during the holidays, but even like day to day or like week to week, right? So I think it's uh, really important to plan for that. And, with what I do with clients is like, we will literally plan week by week. And if they don't know what's going on week by week, we will even do like day by day, right? Like different, behaviors are going to be different on different days. And it's important to kind of like plan for that. I think when we don't have a plan, it's very easy to just let everything go, right? Um, so, um, planning ahead for how you want things to look and what's realistic, and then plan for potential barriers. Like I think that too, you're almost like there's a concept called, I have it here, it's the vast technique. So you visualize what your day will look like tomorrow, say. You anticipate what might be difficult about enacting what you want to do, those behaviors. So you're anticipating what that barrier will be, and then how you will overcome that barrier or what you will do, if that does happen. So it's like the vast technique, or you can call it is it if then or if that? It's if then, right? This is a technique we learned in the HMCC course we're doing, and I freaking love it. Like I've been using it with so many clients and they love it. Because again, you're planning for that obstacle, you're planning for that barrier. So something would be like, if I overeat on this day, then I'm going to do this, right? If this pops up, then I'm going to do this, right? So you plan for that, and I think that's a super powerful tool to bring into the holiday season. And I mean, I can't really tell you like what that's going to look like because everyone's going to be different, but I would reflect back on past holidays and think about what happened there, right? Oh, reflecting is such a powerful thing too, right? What happened last holiday that you weren't happy with, and how can we plan to overcome that obstacle this year? Um, Now, in terms of what you want to do, so if you want to, and this can go for, you can do this anytime. If you're trying to like build a habit and you're having trouble like building that habit, instead of thinking about it being something you should do, um, bring it back to, I'm doing this because I'm embodying my values, right? So your value might be, I want to be healthy, I want to feel good, my older years, or I want to feel good for my children. Instead of saying, I want to work out, or I need to work out because I think I should work out, bring it back to, I'm going to work out because it aligns with my values. Just a different way to look at it. It's a different perspective. And that can help a lot in those moments that you're kind of struggling to implement these things. And then I think that was pretty much it for that part of what I've got. But again, just coming back to, consistency is going to look different. And what does that look like? Okay, being very realistic with yourself here, because you could pull back, say you're working out 4-5 days a week, and during the holidays you could even say, okay, during the holidays I'm gonna work out 12 times, or whatever that looks like. Okay, maybe 20, whatever you want to set, and say, I'm going to work out 12 times during the whole holiday, instead of saying, I need to work out 2 to 3 times a week, blah, blah, blah. Set, you're almost looking at it as like frequency versus consistency. I think that's another really awesome way to look at it too. But, setting that up for yourself in terms of what is realistic for what is going to, for what, your holiday season is going to look like. And you can plan that by day, you can plan that by week, whatever. Because if you're, like I said, if you're expecting to do the same thing, you're going to ultimately let yourself down. And then typically when that happens, it's very easy for us to just like say, F it, right? And everything goes out the door. Whereas if you just simplified it even more, like almost too simple, you create momentum, you keep that momentum going, right? You feel accomplished, and that usually leads to more success. So, so planning, adjusting expectations. Oh, lastly, actually, I have one more thing. I think communicating to those around you, who you're going to be around this holiday season, what you want to do is really important. So say you want to get in your steps, ask, your sister or your friend or whoever's going to be around you to do them with you. Like if you're traveling and you're going to like your sister's for Christmas or whatever, who could you ask there to take a walk with you every day? Right? They might be up to doing it with you if you explain why it's important to you. So I think communication too is big. Sorry, I was kind of redundant there a little bit with some stuff, but I'm typically redundant. I repeat myself. So speaking of being redundant and repeating myself, I know we've talked about these in, potential past podcasts, but Johan's going to go over some of those that you can implement, during the holidays.
Yeah, that's actually the reason why we were almost not going to do this episode, because we were like, we've pretty much touched on these already. But I do think there are some basic habits and tactics that we can apply to kind of like get through the holidays, And I don't really want this to be like a thing where it's like, we have to avoid like weight gain at all costs. But I think, we can mitigate that weight gain if there is any. Hey, maybe some people just stay the exact same weight and that's cool too. But the idea going into this is not being perfect. We just want to do the bare minimum, right? Like we want to make sure that we allow for some more flexibility and be less diligent with nutrition. And especially if you've been tracking, like it's maybe a good time to not track, Like I know I'm not going to be tracking,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just stick to some of these basics. So first of all, what I do really think can help you a lot is setting a set meal frequency. So if you know exactly, hey, I'm going to have my 4 meals a day or 3 meals and a snack, whatever you want to call it, just stick to that, right? Make sure you get your protein with every feeding. Just that's a big one. Little side note there. So if you know that you're going for seconds in the evening, right? If you know, like, hey, you're going to go big, I'm going to have a huge plate of food. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. That's fine. Just count that as 2, right? I do think we can kind of like manage our calories in a good way that way without even tracking and stuff. Just saying, okay, I'm going to have my 4 meals, or saying, okay, cool. Well, the evening counts like 2. Let me just have a good solid breakfast, good amount of protein, possibly like a lighter lunch, like a salad or something with, again, solid amount of protein. Going about your day and then just having that bigger dinner, like that could be one way to do it.
Yeah, I don't think that people often they try and skip meals,
Yeah,
right?
I'd like to. Yeah,
During the holiday, when they're gonna have a bigger meal, and honestly, I've never seen that work.
no,
It usually backfires because you have to think about it from a hunger standpoint. I know we've
yeah,
talked about this before, but like
yeah,
you're going to be so hungry by the time that meal comes, and then it's like a way bigger meal, way more options than you normally have,
yeah,
right? There's all this food that you really want. So it's very easy to like go crazy, kind of like, you
yeah,
know, really overeat. If you skip meals earlier in the day, then you end up being super hungry. I
yeah,
honestly recommend having some like small little snack or something like that going into these big meals.
yeah.
Because again, it's going to
Protein.
help with that hunger. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I think that's important, and I think that's like it's a little tricky, because we can manage it and we can mitigate like, or we can manage our intake throughout the day. But then again, we also don't want to overdo it. So this is where you just want to pay attention and like just not take this out of context, not skip a whole meal, not go
Mm-hmm.
about your day without eating, which is also why I was kind of hesitant to put this on here, but I will still mention it because I do think it can be a tactic to use. It's something that personally I like to use. It's going to be different for everyone. Not everyone can do it. Okay. We literally just talked about fasting 2 episodes ago, I believe, um, mentioning that it maybe is not the best idea for a lot of people, that it can lead to binge eating or at least increase the risk. But I do like some fasting here and there. This is not a full day or half a day, whatever. I just have my breakfast a little bit later.
Yeah. So me, I would never do that. Right. So
Okay, fair enough.
this is two different people. So me and you,
Yeah,
two different people. You could do it. It would work for you. For
yeah,
me, it wouldn't work. I love
yeah,
breakfast. It's really important for me to eat breakfast in the morning. Like I'm really hungry in the morning. And so if I skipped that, it would it would most likely backfire for me.
yeah,
So you got to like ask yourself, am I really hungry in the morning? Do I
yeah.
love eating breakfast? Maybe
Then have
this isn't,
breakfast.
yeah, this isn't going to work for me probably.
Yeah, yeah. And this is where nutrition needs to be personalized to you.
Right.
And there is no right answer, which actually, I want to, this is unrelated, but I want to bring this up because we got a comment on YouTube. which I think is was very interesting, which I do want to talk about. So it was on a clip from the low carb episode where we did talk about, hey, like there is a bigger risk. It doesn't mean that it's gonna happen, but there is a bigger risk of binge eating. We do see that a lot with our clients as well. And we got a comment from someone who said, this is kind of funny because carnivore has been the only thing ever that has worked for me. So I'm like, okay, cool, fair enough. And then I asked a couple questions, and I don't believe I got a full response to that. But I told him, like, that's cool. Like, I love that you actually found something that right now actually helps you lose some weight.
Right.
In the long term, I very much doubt that someone could actually be very healthy and keep that up. But hey, this is where some strategies might work for some people, and they might not feel restricted at all, So it's tough. But again, like with the fasting one, I do want to kind of tread carefully because I know that it works for me. I know some people who do it and they like it as well. Hey, it doesn't have to be the morning. It could simply mean, hey, okay, after 9 p.m., I'm good for the day. That's also one way to do it, but please don't go about your day like without eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's a very long first point, but but like we just want to manage when we eat, how much we eat, and just keep it moderate, I guess, throughout the day. Next point would be drinking mostly water. I guess minimizing like regular sodas. That would be a big one. Like if you're big on soda, just get diet soda. That saves you calories. And then I'd like to ask you actually. So with alcohol, and for me, like I don't drink. I haven't for 10 years. So for me, it's like just like normal.
Yeah.
But like I do like to set a limit with my clients to say, hey, let's maybe aim for 2 to 3 drinks per evening, or maybe a couple evenings per week. Now, 2 to 3 for me, that sounds like, oh, that's probably doable. But I'm very biased. So I was going to ask you, say I would tell you, Kristine, like, hey, let's aim for 2 to 3 drinks per evening, max or whatever. Would you feel like that's kind of a norm, like a doable amount, or would you be like, yo, that's way too low if I really want to enjoy it?
So it depends. And this is something that I go over with clients who do enjoy drinking sometimes. I go by each event or night. So I have a client who, he enjoys drinks, throughout the day or throughout the week. But each time he's about to drink, he basically decides what is reasonable for that moment. Okay. So like 2 drinks is reasonable for, this night going out for dinner. Okay. At this wedding, 6 drinks is reasonable. And so he basically does that every time. Right. And that has helped him so much because he was going through like periods of like drinking a lot but it was making him feel really guilty and then he would continue to do it. Right. That like cycle where now he takes it event by event or whatever it is, dinner by dinner, and he does it that way. And it has helped him immensely. So I think it just depends on what the situation is. So like you could say, okay, this night, this Christmas dinner, I'm probably gonna have more. So let's say, okay, maybe like 5 or 6. And then on the other one, what's more reasonable? Is it like, can I have like 2 this time? Right. And really, going about it that way can help too, I think.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but that's also being very aware of, like, just being very aware around the whole like drinking thing and knowing, hey, I do need to manage it. I'm going to be brutally honest with myself because realistically, this sounds really great. And it is, honestly. But other people who might not be able to manage it that much might actually go from one evening of 5, 6, whatever drinks to 2, to 3, to the rest of the week. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's really hard. And it sounds like someone, and of course I don't know this person, but it sounds like someone who's very much able to just say, hey, you know what? I have to like be brutally honest with myself. I can manage this,
Yeah.
but I have to be smart about this.
Yeah.
Realistically, alcohol is 7 calories per gram. If I have it too much, we will gain weight, you know? And then, of course, next one, staying active. I think this goes without saying. Just keep your steps up, right? Get a workout in. Put the extra calories to good use. And Kristine already touched on this earlier, but like just set a set amount of workouts for the week or for the holidays, or just you could even say like, hey, I'm gonna do something active every day. Could be a
Yeah,
quick
like
walk.
it doesn't necessarily have, like, again, being realistic, being okay with dialing the expectation down. It doesn't have to be a workout. Let it be a walk,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Which could be a cool family activity. Hey, go outside,
Right.
like throw like snowballs at each other.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
that's like next level neat, you know?
Yeah.
No, like no, I'm serious though. Like go sledding, like do something, like go ice skating. I don't know, like do stuff that you would never usually do. Like just change it up, like and be that person. Like yo, let's go outside, you know? Because I
Yeah.
think this is one thing too, where very much like very often the people who are listening to this podcast and you and me and our clients, we are into fitness. Like we are currently on our fitness journey. We're very much aware of nutrition, our habits, etc. Not everyone in our environment is like that. So not everyone will actually understand that, and that's okay. But that also means that you don't have to feel bad for being that person that says, hey, let's go outside. Hey, I'm going to go for a walk. You want to join? Right? Or hey, you know what? No, I'm good. I'll just have a glass of water. Like it's fine. But try to involve the people. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like it's just fun to kind of do that together, and that short walk after a meal could even be a great thing to do for digestion. So activity altogether, I think that's going to be a good one. Like I said earlier too, like we can compensate a little here and there. I don't even want to talk about tracking here. Honestly, like with my clients, I tell them like, hey, if you really, 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 really want to, feel free to track. But like, I'm not even going to look at your targets. I'm not even, like,
Yeah,
we
no,
will not
yeah.
set any
Yeah, I
targets.
really
Like,
leave it
no.
up to them. If they want to
Yeah.
track, they can track, but I tell them
Yeah.
they don't need to.
But
We
exactly.
have killers we focus on.
Yeah. Just get the habits, like the principles, basically. But then I think last couple points here will be eating your protein and veggies first. I think that is a really nice one. Just starting there, getting satiated, eating slowly and mindfully kind of ties into that. Like chewing your food, like actually enjoying the food, just not like shoveling it in. And I'm very guilty of this on a busy day. So I got to pay attention to this too. But like just being mindful of the meal and enjoying it and having it with your close ones. And with the protein and veggies, like you'll have the most filling stuff first, and then you can just eat until you're full and not stuffed, basically.
Yeah.
You have anything else to add there, like that you wanted to get into, like other tactics?
I think like coming back to potential barriers. So when I put my question up about what people struggle with the most during the holidays, like 95% of them were overeating. Right. And I mean, it's normal. Please know it's normal to have more food over the holidays.
Yeah.
It is normal to do that. We have food we don't normally eat or we don't normally have around us. We want to enjoy it. We're with people we don't see all the time. It's normal to have more food around the holidays. Because I think people feel shameful if they're eating things they don't normally eat. And then again, that spirals into going, way further. Right. So I think preparing for that. And if it does happen, one day or one night, what can we do to recenter ourselves so that we don't let it continue day by day by day by day? Because, right, like that was another thing. Like they overeat and then they just let it like continue and continue. What is something that you can do to stop, yourself in those tracks and recenter yourself? Is it getting movement in at the beginning of the day to start your day in like a healthy mindset? Is it going for a walk? Is it, writing about it and like reflecting on it, and whatever, you think can help you recenter yourself, plan for that. So you are doing that thing throughout the holidays.
Yeah, that really ties back into like using this time to already build some habits, but keep the habits up as well that you have been building, And again, not being perfect, just staying consistent with those little things, because it is a different time. And we can also just not be too hard on ourselves, as much as that's very much easier said than done, But I do think that's why we need to set those expectations. And going back to what you mentioned, the if then planning and being ready, but also having your expectations like set to where, hey, I know it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. I know I might eat more than usual, and that's okay. It's not the time to be perfect.
Right.
It's also not the time to say like, I'm just not going to care at all, and just do whatever, because that will lead to weight gain usually.
Mm-hmm. And I know we've talked about this before, but oftentimes people won't get a coach during this time because it's like a hard time for them, but this is exactly when they need it. We've said it again, we've said it before, I say it again. If you're struggling the most during the holidays, why neglect trying to work on that, with a coach who can help you through it? And then now, the holidays to come, you know how to navigate them better and you feel better. And it's not this like daunting thing for you anymore that you stress about. Right. So I think if you're on the fence about hiring a coach, and it doesn't even have to be me or Johan, someone who you trust, do it now. They will, if they're a good coach, they will help you navigate this holiday season, which will lead to way less stress for you. And again, will help you in the future for holidays to come. Because everyone's situation is going to be different.
Yeah.
All right. So we can tell you to do this and this and this, but like everyone's situation's so different. Yeah. What we say might not align, like, okay, drink your water, blah, blah, blah. But there could be other things happening, right? So it's hard for us to say exactly what to do. Like each client of mine is just so different. And their plans look different for this holiday. Like, and it's just, it's hard to articulate that here. Yeah. Because we don't know your situation.
Yeah. So. But I do think we touched on a lot of good stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely think this stuff can help. But like truly, like the big help is having someone in your corner helping you navigate that. Yeah.
100%.
If possible.
Yeah. Because we're all human. This is literally like last week, my coach told me, or last Monday, my coach told me, you got to slow it down. I've been going hard on like the work stuff and which has been great and I love it, but I'm kind of feeling a little burnt out, like getting there, I should say. It's already better now, but like, that's why I have a coach, right? He can actually keep me in check.
Yes.
He could actually tell me like, yo, this is probably what's best for you now. Right. I know that going hard is great, And that's for work.
Yeah, it's that objective outlook, right? That we have a hard time seeing ourselves.
Yeah. That's why we have coaches. That's why our coaches have coaches, and they probably have coaches too, you know?
Yeah.
So again, to recap, like when you haven't, like if you haven't thinking about it, like get a coach. Don't wait until after Christmas, because guess what happens? You'll get results, and then next Christmas you're going to be just as worried, and will still not know how to go about your nutrition during the holidays. And they're going to come up every year, multiple times. So love this episode.
Yeah,
definitely one of the longer ones.
I really want to touch back on reflecting back on your past holidays and really being like honest with yourself about what didn't work, what you weren't happy with, and how we can take, small action, what we can plan for those potential obstacles to happen again. How can we navigate that better this holiday season?
And that's a part of coaching that people don't expect.
Yeah, like we're not just macro coaches.
No, like that's the thing. That's what people think. Like it's like, I'm gonna go on this plan. Oh, Christmas is not the convenient time to do it. Whatever. Thanksgiving. Yeah. Oh, it's not gonna be worth the money because I'm gonna be away. I'm gonna have this meal, whatever. Like, guess what? Like that's all. Like that's exactly where we need your collaboration, basically.
Right.
That's where we need to work together. The other days during the week, that's the easy shit. Doing this during your work week, that's the easy stuff.
Yeah.
It's the roadblocks that we have to run into together and learn from. And even the stuff that you mentioned, like last year's Christmas, like last year's Thanksgiving. Think about that. Think what you could do better or differently, I should say. And see if that works. And if not, then you know what doesn't work. And that's cool.
Right. Cool.
All good? Cool. I think this has been a long one. So cool. Thank you for listening, guys. Next week, we are going to have our first ever guest on, Aaron Straker. So I'm very much looking forward to releasing that one. To quickly recap, we talked about setting the right expectations, building the right habits, keeping them up, or at least some of them throughout the holidays, kind of like how you can stay on track, setting your non-negotiables, but also just really learning from previous holidays. And is that Rose in the background? Yeah, right?
Yes. Yeah. She needs to go.
What's up, Rose? How to get back on track, we didn't really touch on, but I'll say that in one sentence. You just go back to the usual, right? The next day, whenever you feel like you've fallen off, just go back. Same nutrition, no extra like restriction or burning off bigger meals. Like you just go back to the usual shit, Happy holidays.
But reflect back on why you think that didn't go as planned.
100%.
So important, because that's what's going to create the awareness, right? And we can't do anything unless we have awareness.
Shout out to Casey Joe who taught us this stuff.
She's the bomb.
Because it's been so cool to learn about that, right? And honestly, reflect, create that awareness.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna need it. Talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
See you. Thank you for listening. If you want to help us grow the show, please make sure to leave us a 5-star rating or share this episode on your Instagram stories. Now, if at any point you feel like you need more help, you can always reach out to Kristine or myself directly via any of the links in our show notes, because we're here to help. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.